Hey everybody, I'm not on a treadmill, but I do have a story for you. So behind me, these are the apartments that I'm in. You can see the mountains over top. I want to tell you about what happened when I came back from a walk this morning. So right here's the little dog park in my apartment. And I was coming back on the sidewalk here. And when I got to this spot right there, first of all, I looked around the corner and there was a dog outside of the pen on the sidewalk with its leash just hanging down, and I looked at it and it just kind of started swinging its tail. And then I looked right over here and there was a cell phone and a pair of sandals on the ground. And I was like, what is going on here? And so I started to approach the dog, which, you never know what's going to happen. But when I saw his tail, I thought, okay, well, maybe that's okay, and he's approachable, because I just didn't want it to run away, didn't know who he belonged to. So then I hear screaming in the back, like shouting. I couldn't make it out, and then it got closer, and then I heard this girl screaming rain, and she was frantic. And the long story was, she was completely panicked, rightfully so. It was her friend's dog had run away, didn't have a collar, and there is a busy road right here. And so she was, again, understandably panicked. And so I tried to, I said, what's your name? And she said, Rain. And that was the dog's name. So it just told me that she was really just, totally panicked. And I said, well, let's get the dog. And I said, let me help you. And so I walked this way a little bit, and I walked around the corner, and I saw a woman standing right there where that do not enter sign is. And she said, are you looking for a dog? And I could see it in the parking lot across the street. And I was like, oh my God. So I ran to get the girl, and she was still panicked and just crying and, just kind of beside herself. So this woman, who was right here, who had a dog who I found out his name was Pancake, she just said, I'll help her, because the girl came around here and again was totally panicked and walked across the street with their shoes off into those bushes there in the middle. And that's when this lady's like, we got to help her, because she was so far out of her mind, and we could hear shouting over in the parking lot. So this lady said, do you mind watching Pancake, and tied him up to the post. And he was so good. He was so sweet. And then I had the girl's other dog. So I'm here with the two dogs. And then this girl tried to cross in that marsh there. And then so the lady helped her. They ran over there. And luckily, and then two more girls came out from this apartment complex. Very sweet. And they said, do you need some help? We can drive. Do you need a car? We can drive in a car if you need something. We heard her screaming. It was hard not to hear her screaming. And so they came out, and we were petting the two dogs, and then I saw this lady coming back. And the gist of it is, they apprehended the dog, and this girl did not have a leash. And so when this Pancake's not owner, she walks him, I guess, came back, she said there was a nice man in the parking lot who had an extra leash, and they grabbed Rain, and everybody came back here. And then this girl, who it turns out lives in my apartment complex, her name is Gwen, and she was apologizing, and I was just like, don't apologize. And I said, would you have helped somebody? That's just what we're here to do. And the irony of the story is that I was out for a walk because I had just watched a memorial service online. And I always, when I take a walk, I always have my headphones listening to podcasts and stuff. And I didn't on purpose, just because I wanted to think. And, I just thought about this individual's legacy. And, it's the whole gist of it. And I think the culmination of this story, and I was talking to the girl, and, we're here to help one another. the bottom line is we're all connected and we are here to help one another. So it was just a beautiful, I wanted to share the story about how luckily everything ended up okay in this instance. Thank God. The dog had to cross 2 main roads, that it ended up okay, and she's going to get it back to her friend. But the fact that all these people jumped in to help, that's what we're supposed to be doing. So I just wanted to share a positive example of everything working out and people being here to help one another. And I know my friend Stephen would be proud of, again, just taking action. And, yes, it was a few extra minutes of my day, but it meant everything to Gwen, and it meant everything to Gwen's dog, Gwen's friend, whose dog is Rain or whatever. But taking the time and the opportunity to help one another is one of the most important and impactful things that we can do. So go have an impact on somebody else. All right, everybody. See you next time.